this morning is actually to invite the Vice Chancellor to share with us the plans that he, as a leader of the institution and management of the institution, have for us in the coming years. But I need to welcome him in a better way by sharing a little brief on him. Professor Justus Mbae is an associate professor of education. He was a deputy vice chancellor academics from 2009 to 2015, after which he was appointed and served briefly as a director of the new Institute for Regional Integration and Development, IRID in Kwea. He was appointed vice chancellor in May 2016. This will be his second convocation. Professor Mbae graduated with a Bachelor of Education Arts from Kenyatta University, Kenya, in 1975, and a Master of Arts in Philosophy from the University of Nairobi in 1980. He also holds a Doctor of Philosophy in Philosophy from the National University of Athens, Greece, in 1990. He had begun his university academic career after his master's degree at the Kenyatta University as lecturer, rising to senior lecturer, and then as head of Department of Educational Foundations during the period 1982 to 1993. From 1993 to 2009, Professor Mbae was a cultural affairs specialist in the cultural affairs section of the Department of State of the United States Embassy of the United States Embassy of the USA in Kenya. Professor Mbae is a champion of value-based education and has published widely in the area of education. Professor Mbae is married with children and is a Catholic. I have the honor and privilege to invite our Vice Chancellor to address us, Professor Justus Mbae.
Thank you, Professor Kaku, BBC Academics Affairs and Research, for your introduction and for your academic leadership. Your Lordship, Right Reverend Sabino Odoki, Bishop of the Diocese of Arua in Uganda, and member of Kwea University Council, and our chief guest on this occasion of the academic convocation for the year 2017-2018. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academics and Research, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Finance and Planning, members of Senate and University Management Board, Director of City Campus, Deans and Directors, Kwea faculty and staff, the leadership of Kwea Students Organization, KweaSO, all Kwea students, old and new. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Or is it morning still? I'd like to welcome you all to the Catholic University of Eastern Africa Convocation for the 2017-2018 academic year. In a very special way, I welcome all our new students, undergraduates and graduate students, who have just reported to our university in the last week. To you all, new students, we say a big karibuni. Welcome. And welcome also to the continuing students. We thank God. Today is a joyful day. It's a day to thank God for what He has done for us up to this point. We thank the Lord God for enabling CUER to successfully conclude the 2016-2017 academic year under trying circumstances. Even as we begin this new academic year, we look forward into the future with hope, determination, and conviction that better days lie ahead for this institution. Our unqualified optimism and hope are founded on the faith we have in God and in our love for this great university. On behalf of the entire CUER family, I would like to convey our gratitude and appreciation to your Lordship for accepting to grace this event as our chief guest. I thank your Lordship for presiding over today's Eucharistic celebration and also for the reflections that you are about to give to us that is themed on the importance of being a witness to life full of Christian values and Catholic identity. I would like to assure your Lordship that these reflections will guide the university as it sets upon its core business during the academic year 2017-2018. Ladies and gentlemen, ours is not a secular university. As St. John Paul II reminded us when he visited Nairobi in 1980, the same year that he also officially opened this university, and I think I would suspect that your Lordship would have been around that time, 1980. And this is what he says, I quote, "We are a communion of faith and love, confessing Jesus Christ as the Son of God, the Lord of history, the Redeemer, and the Savior of the whole world. We are and must remain, therefore, unapologetically a faith-based university. Our mission as a university is to develop morally upright leaders for church and society. One may wonder, how do we do that, given that our academic catalog does not reflect, does not show, does not list courses and programs on moral uprightness and leadership? The answer to that question must lie in the very constitution, the makeup, the DNA of a Catholic university. It lies in our entire university structure, in its foundation, in its environment, in its practices and traditions, in our ethos, the value orientation of the faculty and members of staff, as well as the entire student body, and our engagement with the community. The university is one mega classroom, or what you might say, call a big laboratory, where in addition to acquiring important knowledge and skills, all our future products are continuously exposed, processed, formed, and helped to lead good lives and to take their rightful place in the world. In order to turn out the kind of products that our founding fathers foresaw and anticipated, values, virtues, and character must continue to occupy the central place in the operations of the university. That is why we should be very worried when our fundamental gospel values, principles, and virtues are violated. Cheating in exams, or any other kind of cheating, plagiarism, unethical research, nepotism in staff recruitment, preferential treatment of workers, corruption, sexual harassment and sexual immorality, drug and substance abuse, and making unjustified claims for payment have no place in a Catholic university. In order to keep the university on course in regards to its calling to be a truly Catholic institution, we have put in place a think tank on values and Catholic identity. This super committee, whose mandate covers the entire university and whose convener is the Reverend Dr. Peter Mbae, the Director, City Campus, consists of a cross-section of members representing all categories of the queer fraternity, including the chaplaincy, staff, and students. Its main task is to look at every corner and every aspect of our university life and recommend ways in which the university can more meaningfully and more intensely live its Catholic identity. As a result of recommendations coming from this think tank, we have just concluded a different, better, and more comprehensive orientation exercise for our new students, where for the first time, top university management and a separate and very fruitful meeting with the parents, guardians, and sponsors of our new students. The university intends to create appropriate forums to empower and create better collaboration with our parents, guardians, and sponsors. The think tank is also expected to make important recommendations on the restructuring of the Center for Social Justice and Ethics to make it the nerve center and reference point of Catholic identity in the entire university. Your Lordship, for the sake of the new students, let me explain that Catholic identity does not apply to Catholic students and staff only. Nor does it call for non-Catholics to change their faith so as to comply. Our only expectation is that all students and staff of this university will respect the teachings of the Catholic Church and live in accordance with the principles and values that it upholds. For this reason, we need to emphasize that Catholic identity is not limited to one faith, but cuts across and is applicable in any religion, whether that be Protestant, Muslim, Hindu, or Catholic. Your Lordship, the past few years have been challenging for prayer, and the last academic year has not been an exception. These challenges have been brought about by several factors, including the financial challenges facing the higher education sector in Kenya today, generally, including also changes in government policies, as well as, of course, our own internal challenges related to structure and operations. In spite of these challenges, we have continued to do well on the academic front. The Catholic University of Eastern Africa is undoubtedly one of the best universities in Eastern and Central Africa today. Our university's high ranking status is as a result of queer insistence in offering quality education and our championing of Catholic values, which is the bedrock of Catholic identity. In January, February of this year, the Commission for University Education, CUE, carried out a countrywide quality audit for the 70+ universities in the country. That audit, which resulted in the closure of some universities and colleges and centers, gave queer a clean bill of health. The most recent web-based ranking of Kenyan universities placed queer in the enviable 9th place out of all the more than 70 universities in Kenya. Recently, queer was one of the 15 African universities selected to participate in a survey under the auspices of the European Union, the African Union, and the Association of African Universities. The African Quality Rating Mechanism evaluated the general performance of our university and gave us an excellent score. One may wonder, Your Lordship, what is the secret of our success in this area? It is our focus on quality. Queer, which is ISO certified 9001 to 2008 certified, and which is in the process of transitioning to the revised standard ISO 9001-2015, is committed to matters quality with regard to programs, staff, students, infrastructure, community service, research, and publication. In addition, the university is committed to ensuring customer satisfaction and to meeting its stakeholders' requirements. Customer satisfaction is grounded on quality, which is affected by and affects all functions of the university. To ensure that quality is maintained at queer and that there is continual improvement of all its functions and all its services, the following shall be the focus in the academic year. We shall do two things. First, we will need to establish the Customer Satisfaction Index. In that respect, I have charged the Communication and International Relations Office, in collaboration with the Directorate of Research, to conduct a customer satisfaction survey which will establish the Customer Satisfaction Index before the end of the first quarter of this academic year. Secondly, we will need to enhance our academic standards and our university's ranking. This will be achieved through adherence to statutory and regulatory requirements, through benchmarking with national and international bodies, and through leveraging the use of technology. In connection with this last point, technology, the university is in the final stages of implementing a new information system that makes it easier for students to register, receive their examination marks, and pay their fees. This system actually is already in use. We urge all staff and students to make good use of this and other ICT facilities that the university has provided. CWEA is also in the process of revising the academic programs it has on offer so as to make them more relevant and market-oriented. This will help curb the problem faced today where employers are concerned about university graduates' employability in the market. Fortunately for us, from the recent survey that was conducted about a year ago, I think it was, CWEA was found to be the number 2, at least in the private sector, the number 2 most desirable employer. The employers are looking for products from CWEA. And that was and continues to be, but we need to improve on this. However, it ought to be noted that findings they placed us at number 2, and number 2 is not quite where we belong. We need to go to number 1. It has been said that in the not too distant future, employment and jobs, as we now know them, will be something of the past. It is further alleged that the only 3 fields which are likely to retain their jobs as we know them now are the fields of education, health, and security. Of these 3, CWEA is already well known for its provision of education, in the field of education. Thanks to the Regina Pacis Institute of Health Sciences, our university is currently offering courses in nursing and public health. The university has embarked on upgrading our existing laboratories with a view to offering diploma and degree programs in this area. Plans are underway to establish a fully fledged College of Health Sciences in the next couple of years. Philosophy, just like theology, occupies a special place in a Catholic university. Once again, St. John Paul II pointed out in his encyclical Fides et Ratio that the 2 disciplines, theology and philosophy, are like 2 wings of a bird. 2 wings. It needs both to fly. The Department of Philosophy, which had earlier been merged with religious studies, has recently been separated and now stands on its own. This department, which is now headed by Reverend Dr. Stephen Okello, is currently working on the right affiliations and partnerships that will enable it to eventually develop into the Faculty of Philosophy, offering both civic and ecclesiastical degrees. During this academic year, we plan to start the Department of Economics, which will offer degree courses in the relevant field. Let me also mention one of the 3 pillars of our education that often tends to be overlooked: community service. In the last year, we established the Office of the Coordinator of Community Service to coordinate all the activities in the university. We shall expect to see greater involvement by all departments and faculties in this area. In the meantime, the Dean's Committee will be examining ways in which community service may be introduced into the university's curriculum. I am sure you know that in some universities, community service is a requirement, and that a student may not graduate, even if they did well in all other things. They may not be able to graduate until they also have met this requirement. In this direction, we may do well to see what other Catholic universities have done, especially along the lines of service learning. After extensive consultations and reflection, the University Council has chosen to have CUER revert to the semester-based academic year. This means that an academic year will be made of 2 semesters and not 3 trimesters as we now have it. The process of phasing out the trimester-based academic year has already started. Only 3 faculties and students registered for a 3rd trimester last academic year. As from last year, the Faculty of Education, the Faculty of Law, and of course the Faculty of Theology offer their respective programs in semester-based academic year. This year, we will see more faculties follow suit. In addition to these changes, as from this academic year, CUER will have 1 graduation in a year, which will be held on the last Friday of October. That, of course, dependent on the council, we can change that. But for now, that is what the plan is. However, those who complete their studies in between graduations may receive their degree and diploma certificates at the end of every semester. These certificates, of course, will be issued to those students who have satisfied and met all the requirements of Senate. So with the approval of Senate, they can be issued with the certificates and degrees, awaiting the formal graduation. On the financial side, we continue to seek solutions to our challenges. In the academic year 2015-2016, the university started a restructuring exercise that saw the number of university divisions reduced from 3 to 2, and several university departments merged to form leaner and more effective departments. With the second restructure phase now in progress, we are coming towards the final stages of what we consider the turnaround strategy for the university. In this academic year, and in line with that turnaround strategy, we will be working to increase our non-tuition income base, to reduce our workforce and the payroll, to increase productivity, and maximize the use of our available resources. I think it's important for us all to know that the university has lots of resources available to us. And these resources are grossly underutilized. So this year, we will be trying to maximize the use of resources. And that may lead us to take other decisions as we consolidate. We recently launched performance management for all members of staff. This is one way of ensuring efficiency and productivity. Your Lordship, as we do all this, it is important for all of us to remember that the student is the main reason why we are here. Our core business is to deal with students, to teach them, and learning and teaching are our core businesses, of course, as well as research. And therefore, the only reason why the university exists is because of students. This academic year, we will focus even more on customer care, and that is why we have started by trying to get the customer care index so we know where we start and where we're going. So there will be greater emphasis on customer care and the needs of the students. Our desire is to give our students a reason to be proud of their university. We want our students from Queer to develop a love, a loyalty, a pride in our university. The only way to do this is to offer them quality services, be sensitive to their needs, and to be available for them when they need us. I have to mention, along with this, that mentorship is something that we have to take seriously, because learning does not only take place in the classroom. So as a university, we will be seeking better ways to be able to help the student organize themselves, organize their lives, and get maximum benefits out of this environment, this university. This item on customer care is so crucial that it forms part of the evaluation that every member of staff at Queer will be subjected to every half year. For over a year now, the government of Kenya has partnered with Queer and has placed university students sponsored by the government. So far, we have over 1,000 students in Queer under government sponsorship. And today, we welcome close to 500 more. That is quite a significant number of our total student population. The majority of our students, however, are self-sponsored students, with a sizable number being international students. We currently have students from over 20 countries in Africa. The Dean of Students' Office has an international students unit, which is dedicated to assisting these students in following up legal documents or addressing challenges that are common to a student studying in a foreign country. Your Lordship, one very serious problem that we now encounter as a university has to do with finding appropriate accommodation for our students. because of the nature of the location of our university, where the university is located, it is challenging to students to find affordable accommodation within the vicinity of the university. For this reason, the university management is exploring ways in which we can provide reasonable accommodation to our students, especially those who come from other countries. Of course, it's not just them, but especially them, because it is other students, Kenyan students can find their way. Foreign students have a big problem trying to find where to live. Dear new students, as you may have found out by now, CUEA has a rich array of student activities, including such sports as karate, rugby, football, and basketball. You probably have already heard of a team called CUEA Monks. This is their home. In order to recognize and promote the spirit of sports in the university, the university has solicited, and for the first time in our university, granted partial scholarships to 2 talented new rugby students who have recently joined the university. I know that 2 is not a big number, but the plan is, it is hoped that more scholarships will be solicited and more scholarships will be offered to talented students in the years to come. The university hopes to attract a pool of sportsmen and sportswomen to our esteemed university. In that same connection, the university is setting aside funds for the improvement of sports facilities in the institution. We talked earlier about the needs of the students. These are some of those. In the near future, we hope to see well-maintained pitches and other sports facilities in the institution. By promoting sports in our university, we enhance our education, which, as we have said, is not only academic, but holistic in nature.